In the shadows of ancient Rome, where power struggles played out like deadly games, one woman's skill in the lethal arts would make her infamous. Her name was Locusta, an alchemist and poisoner, weaving her way through the courts of emperors with a talent that would come to define an era. Welcome to Historical Crime Chronicles. Today we delve into the chilling story of Locusta, the poisoner of Rome, and her role in the deadly assassinations of the 1st century AD. The Romans had long been familiar with poison. It was often the weapon of choice for eliminating rivals. From emperors to senators, the use of poison was both a tool of political maneuvering and a method of settling personal vendettas. But it was in the time of the early Roman Empire that one woman in particular would become Rome's official poisoner. Locusta was born in Gaul and found her way to Rome around the mid-1st century AD. She quickly gained a reputation for her unique knowledge of herbs and toxic substances. In a time when women had little power, Locusta's talents made her an invaluable and dangerous asset to those seeking to dispose of their enemies. Locusta didn't give an account of her own life, but we can learn about her crimes from the ancient historians Tacitus, Juvenal, Cassius Dio, and Suetonius, who documented what happened. In 54 AD, Locusta became imprisoned on a poisoning charge, but when the Empress Agrippina the Younger, Nero's mother, discovered what Locusta could do, she employed her to supply a poison for the murder of her husband, the Emperor Claudius. Agrippina's influence was quite considerable amongst the court, and she managed to turn those closest to Claudius against him. Locusta provided a poisoned mushroom which was given to the emperor by his food taster Helotus. The mushroom made the emperor ill, but didn't kill him. Claudius was then finished off by his own doctor, Gaius Stertinius Xenophon. A feather was coated with belladonna, and under the pretense of inducing vomiting to save him, it was put down the throat of Claudius and the poison ended his life. Claudius was the stepfather of Nero and had adopted him on the marriage of his mother Agrippina. Nero also had a stepbrother called Britannicus, but as he was 13 at the time his father died, Nero claimed the throne. In 55 AD, Locusta was still in prison. Several sources state that Locusta was imprisoned on charges of Claudius's death. But the new emperor, Nero, pardoned her when he needed her for another murder. Nero found himself facing threats to his rule, and once again, Locusta's skills came into play. Nero's most notable request involved the poisoning of his stepbrother, Britannicus. Nero, known for his ruthless ambition and paranoia, wanted to remove Britannicus as it meant that he could solidify his control over Rome, and he turned to Locusta to eliminate his rival once and for all. The poison Locusta used on the attempted murder of Britannicus was a slow-acting poison, and did not act quick enough for the short-tempered and impatient Nero. Nero flogged Locusta himself and threatened to execute her if she didn't speed up the process. She then used a different poison which was slipped into Britannicus's drink during a banquet. As his body convulsed, Nero dismissed it as an epileptic fit, which the boy had suffered from infancy, but many suspected the truth. For this service, Locusta was handsomely rewarded. Nero granted her a villa, pupils to train, and immunity from prosecution. She became a state-sponsored poisoner, further refining her skills and expanding her knowledge. Some sources state that she was sent slaves, animals, and convicted criminals to test the poisons on. But as she thrived under Nero's patronage, the tides of Roman politics were about to turn. Nero acquired poison from Locusta for his own use, and kept it in a golden box in case she wasn't around, and he needed to use it. In 68 AD, Nero's reign came to a violent end, as he faced a rebellion from the Senate and military leaders. Declared a public enemy, he fled Rome and took his own life. He didn't use the poison supplied by Locusta in the end, but with Nero gone, those who had served him found themselves in a precarious position. Locusta, once protected by the emperor, was now vulnerable to the very justice she had evaded. Galba, the new emperor, sought to cleanse Rome of Nero's favourite associates. Locusta, as a symbol of Nero's corrupt rule and many assassinations, was arrested, tried, and quickly sentenced to death. She was led in chains through the city, with Nero's other associates, and executed. According to some accounts, her execution was as brutal as the poisons she once concocted, a final irony for a woman whose life had been defined by death. To some, she was a victim of the ruthless power plays that defined Rome's leaders. To others, she was one of the first known assassins and serial killer, and the architect of some of history's most notorious poisonings. If you found this episode intriguing, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us next time for more tales from history's darkest corners here on Historical Crime Chronicles. Thank you for watching. See you next time.